Time for a quick 3-week update. I'll try to keep this short because not too much has changed. Starting with the 45-gallon aquarium. Yeah, the plants are a little bit bigger. I think the limnophila in the back left corner, the foliage has started to sort of lighten in color. It'll actually eventually become sort of orangey yellow. So it's definitely starting to show some of that change. And the Rotala willikii is just getting taller, not really assumed its full submerged form yet. And then there's some growth at the top of the Pagostemon Dawson in the back. And the foliage is getting a little bit of a translucent look to it. Almost looks like it's melting, but then the leaves are starting to, can focus. Yeah, the leaves they're starting to get some new growth at the top too. So I'm hoping that just means it's changing form. Myriophyllum is getting taller, not much change. But the Rotala is definitely getting redder. So overall, everything is looking pretty nice in this tank. But I think it's going to be another 2 to 3 weeks before we see any real change here. The little carnivorous plants are looking pretty good. It's doing that thing where these new iPhones like to shift focus. There we go. So yeah, I think that's looking pretty decent. And you can pretty clearly see the little carnivorous, the little sort of bubbles where they suck in microscopic organisms. So that is this tank. And then this 46-gallon, since it's mostly crypts, the growth is going to be much slower until they finally really take off. But I'd say maybe because it's tissue culture, I feel like the crypt balance in the back is growing much faster than when I have grown it as a just a non-tissue culture plant. It just kind of sits and doesn't do much of anything for a while, but this is actually growing pretty fast. And on the other side, in the back, the Crypt spiralis red, that is starting to put on some growth too. So there is some growth, not fast, but it is happening. The Laganandra looks pretty good. There was one little, here we go, in the front. You can see one little bit of hair grass sort of popping up, little runners coming up in the front. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, there's not going to be much change here. I think the stem plants in the other tank are going to be much faster. One problem with this tank I've noticed, because I added those fish, the little Lampicilles, I have to feed them, but they're so tiny. They're not the most aggressive eaters, so some of the food has sort of fallen on the bottom and is going to start getting all gunky and go bad. So I don't want that. So I think I'm going to move things along in this aquarium. And next week, maybe I will get some Bicephalandra and some moss for the driftwood. Sort of drain the tank, add those, maybe glue those on. And then after that, I will probably get some shrimp for this tank so they can sort of keep things clean. because these 6 teeny little fish are not doing it. I feel like I have to feed them something, but they're just not gonna get all the food, and some of it, I don't want it sort of messing the tank up. So yeah, that's pretty much the update for the 3-week mark. Not too big of a change from last week, which I think I did it a little later than the 2-week mark, so there's not been that much time between them. But yeah, that's the update. Thank you for watching.